Need to identify something.
Now I, yeah, now
Okay,
I
good. Don't
We don't see them all.
In the safari, Animal Kingdom.
So let's start.
Hello.
We're gonna start our adventure in the Aturi Forest. The
Told your friend, hello.
Blending in with their surroundings, so keep your eyes peeled. They might be hiding in the bushes or the trees. Helps them keep away from their predators, keeps them nice and safe. Over on the right, there is an okapi there. The okapi has those black and white striped legs. Kind of looks like it resembles a zebra, although they're not related to the zebra at all. They're actually related to the giraffe. They have the same skull structures and prehensile tongues, which means that their tongues are really long and can grab things just like our thumbs can. The okapis were also thought to be a myth until about 1901, when they were finally discovered in the wild. People had seen pictures in textbook drawings of them, but they didn't think they actually existed until a little over 100 years ago when they were discovered, which is really cool that we have some that we're able to see here. We love new species. It's so fun. Those okapis, their legs are striped like that to help them blend in. When they're hiding in bushes, the white stripes on their legs kind of look like the sun shining through the branches, so that helps them easily blend in.
Wow.
Seems like a lot of the other animals out here are doing a great job living up to their expectations of blending in, hiding.
Tana, chili country country.
Maybe there's some up here that we can see.
They blended in for a nice
Oh yeah, here on the left, there's gonna be some bongos up there. They're the reddish antelopes there. Now the bongos, oh hello. The bongos, they are known as the ghosts of the forest. They're very good at hiding, very rarely seen. And then these lighter tan antelopes here, the one that just literally emerged from those bamboos. These are the greater kudus. The greater kudus are one of the tallest antelope species in the entire world. They stand about 55 inches tall. And all three of the greater kudus that we can see right now, we can tell they're all females because none of them have horns on their heads. Only the males grow the horns. They grow to be about 6 feet long. They're really big. And if you look above you, all the way on the end of your animal spotting guide, all the way on the end, there is a picture of a male greater kudu. If you want to know what they look like with those horns. So we did just exit the forest. We're going to head on down to the Safi River. The Safi River is home to some of the aquatic animals that we have here on the reserve. They do like to spend their days in the water, so if you don't see any either on land or just poking their heads above the water, they're down deep. They might just be underneath trying to keep nice and cool for the day. Oh, there is a hippo there on the right. Now each hippo, they can weigh about 5,500 pounds. A group of them together is called a float. So let's head a little bit further along the river and see if we can find the rest of the float with hippos around here. The hippos, they're really cool. They can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes, which allows them to sink to the bottom of the river. They have a really hard time floating and swimming, so they will just sink.
It's like the birds are blocking the sun, these are.
Instead of swimming to easily maneuver that river. They also tend to sleep.
They're vultures. They're vultures.
So because they do have to breathe every 8 minutes, they will involuntarily poke their heads around the water, take a breath of air, and go back under, almost still swimming, sleeping, which is really incredible that they can do that.
Wow, bird.
And I think I see the rest of the blow up ahead. But in the meantime, we
keep
do
your
have
hands
some
in,
pink-backed
Mona.
pelicans here. It's the grayish-white birds on the island and this one swimming here. The pink-backed pelicans,
dirty
they do
water.
get their name because during mating season they will turn a pinkish color. A group of them together is called a pod. And pods of pink-backed pelicans are usually made up of about 20 to 500 pairs. They are really social birds.
Flying down those.
Now where those hippos go? I see one walking back there.
Tana, oh, you said directly.
Yeah, if you look directly like down here on the left.
Tana, directly. Tana, there's one there.
Now the hippos, they do spend most of their day in the water like this. They don't tend to come in at nighttime or cool down. They're pretty nocturnal. And that's when they do all of their eating. And they'll walk along the river bank for a whole bunch of miles. They'll eat all the grass, the bushes, the weeds. They can eat hundreds of pounds every night.
It was a
Now
vulture.
on our left as well, we have the Nile crocodiles. The Nile crocodiles are ectothermic, which means they cannot create their own body heat. So to warm themselves up,
That's a girl, that's a boy.
and then if they need to cool themselves down, they can either go into the water, or sometimes we see them.
Nah, you have to go by the colors.
And it looks pretty intimidating when they're ready for a snack, but it's actually just how they cool themselves down. They can release their body heat cooling out. So by opening their mouth wide like that, they just kind of. Yeah, each one of those now be about 15 feet long. And if they were to stand up on top of
that
it,
crying?
they'd be almost as tall as a giraffe. And they do have one of the strongest bites in the entire world. These bites are designed out to be a bone-crushing 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. I don't know about you, but I definitely would not want to get in the way of it. So this large tree that's coming up on our right, it's called a baobab tree. Sometimes it's named the upside down tree because 9 months out of the year, well, look the way it does right now, no leaves, so the bare branches kind of look like the roots on top. And that's because the tree is very good at conserving its water. The water can be found in the large trunk that it has, that way animals in the savannah, if they get thirsty, they can find these trees, but water right out. It's also known as the tree of life, and it does mark our entry into the beautiful savannah here. The savannah stretches for hundreds of miles in Africa.
That's a lot of land. What? You got a lot of land here.
To many of the popular animals,
This is
spread out to zebras, lions,
humans and trains below it.
a lot of antelope species. So let's head on into
Man, who made this? Walt Disney. He's dead now.
Now I do see a whole bunch of animals towards the other side of the
Well,
savannah.
time to
So as we make our way over there, I'll start to talk about them. But in the meantime, we'll try to find some animals on this side.
Pretty close to another part of the million.
There is a Maasai giraffe on the right, kind of next to that tree. You can tell it's the Maasai giraffe because it has a jacket, a regular pattern to its coat. I'm smiling with you. I think I did see some more giraffes along the way. So we'll get some nice pictures of them shortly as we head around here.
There's a giraffe right there.
Now the savannah, it is shaped by the animals that live here. So without them, it would look completely different. And this is because a lot of them travel for hundreds of miles, eating all the grass, the bushes, the giraffes eat the trees. So without them, it would be a very different landscape. Now on our left, we have some African painted dogs. Now I think they look super cute and cuddly, but they're actually the #1 predator out here on the savannah. They
Oh, look like from the line
because they are family-oriented animals and they like to do everything together, including hunting. When they wake up in the morning, they won't start their day until every single one has said hello to all of the other ones. Which for predators, I still think is pretty sweet.
The hyenas.
And they do get their names based on their coats that they have. They all have unique coats that kind of look like they were all painted different ways. A pack of them is usually made up of about 25 dogs, and they're led by an alpha male and an alpha female to become the main breeding area. Now over on the left, we're going to have a dark brown antelope back there. These are the sable antelopes. They are the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. So if you see our symbol, it's them that's on it. They're very territorial animals, and they'll actually stand their ground and fight if a predator is coming for them. They're incredibly strong, and they have long, sharp horns on tops of their heads that face backwards, which deters predators from jumping on tops of their backs.
Giraffe is right there. Look how big.
Giving them a huge advantage in trying to fight them off, and they haven't known to fight off animals such as lions, which is really impressive. All these tall red structures that we're passing by, they are termite mounds. They're solid and hard as concrete. They're super important for a lot of different species out here on the savannah. The wildebeest like to use them to file down their horns. Their horns kind of go like fingernails, so they need to keep them filed down in order to keep them peaceable. And then elephants like to use them as scratching posts because they won't break down as easily as a tree would if they rub against it. Now all these tiny little antelopes on our left here, these are the spring bok. They kind of look like s'mores. They do get their name because they can spring about 6 to 8 feet into the air while standing still and about 16 feet forward. So it'll only take about 2 jumps for them to jump the entire length of this trunk. They are one of the fastest animals,
2 jumps.
not only on the savannah, but in the entire world. They can travel at speeds of about 50 miles an hour, giving them a huge advantage in trying to escape from their predators.
The wildebeest. I tell you, say wildebeest.
You don't want to be on your camera.
They're also one of the smallest antelope species. So these are super cute.
Look, son, look.
Look at Mama.
She thinks it's dog.
What you doing?
She thinks it's
Woof,
dog.
woof. Woof, woof.
All right, let's head around. Hopefully we find some really cool animals up ahead. I do see a whole bunch of them. So let's make our way over there. Alright, so first over there we're going to see some Hartman's Mountain zebras. The Hartman's Mountain zebras, they do come from mountainous regions of Africa, and they have smaller hooves. That way they can easily maneuver through the rocky terrain of those mountains. A group of zebras together is called a dazzle. And we can tell the color of a zebra based on the color of their nose. So those are kind of hard to tell from back here, but they do have black noses, which means they are black with white stripes. Zebras also all have unique stripes, kind of like a fingerprint, and they're able to tell each other apart by those stripes as well. Even the newborn babies, within a few hours, you can already recognize their family and friends by those stripes, which is really cool that they can do that. On the left here, we're going to have another Maasai giraffe. Now the Maasai giraffes,
That fake?
a group of them together is called the tower, which definitely makes
Those
them
are
so much
beautiful.
tower from the other animals
Look
out
how
there.
beautiful he is, Fat.
About 18 to 20
buffalo.
feet tall. So also straight ahead of us, hanging out with the zebras, we have some wildebeest. They're all the great ones out there.
Wildebeest.
Now the wildebeest in the wild, they travel in herds of about 1.5 million. And when they go to sleep at night, they sleep in rows, standing up, facing different directions. That way they can easily avoid each other if the predator is coming. They'll all try to escape from their voice when they're going a million animals running in one direction. It's pretty intimidating, so people stand around and they deter their predators. So they have found safety in their
See Layu, see Yaya?
We also have the Ankole cattle. They're the ones with all those huge horns on their heads. There's also one right to our right here.
Oh, look at this one.
The Ankole cattle.
Love you, Yaya. It's right here.
But compared to the rest of their body, they're pretty light at only about 30 to 35
That's the
pounds.
wildebeest.
Inside of those horns is a honeycomb structure of blood vessels, and it's what regulates their body temperature and keeps them nice and cool. They're also the only domesticated animals that we have on the reserve. They're domesticated in Africa, and they're used as a form of currency. So the more Ankole cattle you have, the wealthier you are. Now on our left, we're going to have more of the tower of Maasai giraffes. Now these giraffes, they spend about 18 hours of their day eating and only about 30 minutes sleeping, which I find to be really impressive that they have the ability
18
to do
hours
that.
eating.
What?
And when
18
these giraffes
hours
are born, they're
eating, 30
already
minutes
6 feet
sleeping.
tall, and the mother giraffe gives birth to them standing up. So the first thing those baby giraffes experience when they're born is a drop to the ground. But within an hour, they're already up and running on their own, which is really 30 minutes. Pretty impressive for newborn babies to be able to run within a few hours of flight. Now, on
Lion,
these broken
lion, lion.
boundaries here means we're entering elephant country. So let's head on in and see if we can find any. Over on the left, not elephants, but there are some mandrills over there. The mandrills are the largest species of monkey in the entire world. The males, they can weigh about 100 pounds. The females are significantly smaller, at only about 40 pounds. They have those pretty red and blue painted faces, kind of like Rafiki in the Lion King.
It's a cute little. Look
And
at
really
them,
cool thing about
Fat.
the
Oh my
mandrills
God,
is
they're
that they have pellets
beautiful.
inside their mouths. So when they go
Those
looking
little
for
monkeys
food,
are
they can eat
cute.
a whole bunch. They'll also store some in those pouches for later on, just to easily.
Y'all like my daughter, her stories on for later.
What stops them from going to near the other animals? What?
There is an African elephant on the right there. It's all the way towards the back. It's kind of backing up right now.
Or the
We are going to
elephant?
head a little further into elephant country though, so hopefully we'll get to see some more further up ahead. Get some nice good views of them. Now the African elephants, both the males and the females, they do have those ivory tusks, which they are unfortunately hunted for. They're also being hunted because farmers are encroaching upon their lands in Africa with their crops, and elephants end up trampling their crops, eating all the crops, which of
Don't
course
you guys
upsets
video,
the farmers.
Brittany?
It is their
Brittany?
livelihood after all.
Starting, stopping.
So they help the elephants for that as well. So the team here at Disney wanted to find out how they could not only help the elephants, but the farmers as well. And what they found through research is that elephants don't like the sound of bees. They'll actually run away if they hear them. So what they did was they put beehive fences around the farmers' crops. And it ended up being very successful in keeping the elephants away from the crops, which kept them safe from being hunted, kept the crops safe from being trampled and eaten, and it gave the farmers some honey that they could sell from those beehives. So it was a win-win for all the parties involved. And it's really cool that a team here at Disney was able to figure that out to help conserve the elephant populations a little bit better. So hopefully they won't decrease any more than they already are. Now on the right, you'll notice that red flag marked in it. So hopefully that means there's some more around here somewhere that we can see. But the elephants, they do dig out that red clay with their tusks, and then they eat it. It has a lot of minerals and nutrients.
Donkey, you're still recording,
Come
dumbass.
take a bite out for them. It keeps them nice and healthy.
No, I'm saying, well, I'm still recording. I thought you were just putting it down.
I'm recording the parts that were like.
I'm gonna record over.
And here in elephant country, we do find a lot of the baobab trees, like the one we saw earlier, and a lot of watering holes as well. This is because elephants, they have really good memory, and they'll memorize where all the good spots are to find the water. And then the eldest female, who's usually the leader of the herd, she'll lead the rest of the herd to the water. And then other animals out here on the savannah also know that the elephants are really good at finding water, so they'll follow them as well. So it is really one of the reasons it's really important to help conserve the elephant populations. Not only for the elephants, but for the other animals out here on the savannah that also rely on the
It's just amazing how God does all this. It's just crazy what
And
He
everything serves its own purpose.
does. It's just so everything. The water looks clean outside.
Hot water, yeah.
It's some nice water.
Oh, we do have some greater flamingos here on our left.
Why is it so clear?
Now, you notice any
Oh,
smaller
those are
gray
beautiful.
ones? They were hatched a few months ago, so they are getting pretty big. But they are born gray like that. They won't start to turn pink until about a year of their life after they've eaten enough of their diet of brine shrimp. The brine shrimp has beta carotene in it, which is what turns the flamingos pink. Because the greater flamingo are the largest species of flamingo, they are the lightest in color. This is because that pink pigment from the shrimp has a lot more body area that it has to take up, so they tend to be very pale compared to smaller species of flamingo who tend to be a brighter pink. And a really cool thing about the flamingo chicks before they hatch is that they can communicate through their eggs. That way, once they do hatch, they already recognize the sound of their mother's voice, and the mothers recognize the sound of their baby's voices. Right here on the left, we have some white rhinos. The white rhinos are a larger species of rhino. They weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds each. They're also a really social species of rhino, so they do like to hang out in groups together. And when rhinos are in a group, it's called a crash.
You see the
which
ostrich?
definitely makes
You know
sense
what the
because they
ostrich
can
does? She
drive at speeds of
abandons her babies.
35 miles an hour and
Bet
just
you guys
crash
put
right into things.
food.
And you might notice that they're not actually white. They do get their name from a
Ostrich.
mistranslation of the Afrikaans language.
They abandoned their baby.
I'm an ostrich. Why? Because they have really wide mouths to help them easily graze
No,
along
that's
the
okay.
ground in the
Yes.
We also
Why
have
would
a
they
few
abandon
other
the
species
babies?
over here. We do have
Good.
ostriches. The ostrich, although it is a bird, it
So they
cannot
can
fly
mature
because
by
it is
themselves?
really heavy and really large.
It's kind of sad. Terrible.
So they would have a really hard time flying. But they
Oh,
can
look,
run really
look.
fast at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. Then we also have the scimitar horned oryxes here. They do get their name based on the horns that are on tops of their heads. They're kind of shaped like the scimitar swords, like the ones that the guards used in the
dinosaur?
movie Aladdin. And they do come from dry, arid areas of the world. They're really impressive too. They can go 9 months out of the year without drinking any water because a lot of the times it is really hard for them to find water where they live. And their bodies, they're very good at conserving it. And they won't start to sweat until their bodies reach 112 degrees.
That's amazing.
Let's see. I think to the left there, it's kind of like in the sunlight towards the back. There is a cheetah laying down there.
Cheetah lane.
The cheetah
Okay.
is one of the
Hey,
only
cheetah,
cats that
tell her,
doesn't
call him
die
in
Yeah,
today.
guaranteed.
This is because they do have a very low success rate when hunting. Although they can run really fast at speeds of about 60 to 70 miles an hour, they can't maintain those speeds for very long, and they're not the strongest of the big cats either. So often, if they are hunting at the same time as the other big cats and they do catch something, they'll actually be fought off.
Where is
They'll
this
be taken
cheetah?
away from them by those other big cats. So they're like to hunt during the day when the other cats tend to be sleeping. That way, if they do catch anything, they'll get to keep it. And they do have an advantage to hunting during the day. They have black markings around their eyes, which helps reflect the sun away. That way, if it gets super bright and sunny, they're still able to see really well.
That's what we should do, Barry. Put black markers on our eyes.
So this large rock structure here on our left, it's called a kopie. The big cats of the savannah like to find these kopies, and during the day they'll rest on top of them. It's nice and warm and cozy up there for them, and then at night when they're ready to go hunting, it gives them a vantage point over their prey. Being so high up like that in the dark, they can still easily find them. Over on the right, there is a bontebok just standing there. He's super cute. The bonteboks, I'm going to point the bontebok out. I'm going to talk about this, and they have a really incredible conservation. Doesn't as any other animals pop up, and all the animals want to run the other way. So keep them in mind. In the meantime, let's head around and see what other animals we can find. Oh, there's a lion there on the left.
Yeah.
Now that lion
Lion King, Mufasa.
Oi, oi. He's sleeping.
A group of lions together is called a pride, and a pride of lions is usually made up of one male, the rest are the females and the cubs. And when the lions rest on top of those copies, they do that for 16 to 20 hours a day. And then at night when they're ready to go hunting, it's actually the females that go out and do the hunting, while the males do the back.
She's gotta go get the food.
You see,
You
Brittany,
understand?
The lions, they like to hunt at night.
Huh?
During
See?
the day.
The females gotta go after
Now
the
the,
food.
see how the lions
Yeah,
go.
they're partnering on top of that copy, but being able to see very well in the dark. Now on our left we have some warthogs. The warthogs, they dig out those burrows that you can see in the ground.
That's just bullfrog.
With their tusks, and then at night when they're ready to go sleep, they back themselves into those
Down
burrows with their
bullfrog.
tusks facing out. And it helps to ward off predators in the middle of the night. That way they can sleep nice and safe and sound. And the warthogs, they do like to work smarter, not harder. We'll often find already dug out burrows to use instead of digging out their own.
That's my berry. Smarter, not harder. That's my son.
All right, my arms can't. My,
Oh, you don't have to record all the way
I'm
through.
just leaving it on.
You know what iCloud he must have?
What kind of storage this man needs?
So now back to those Bontabox, the little brown antelope
20
that I
minute
pointed
video.
out that was kind of just standing
It's a lot,
there.
yes.
They have a really incredible conservation story. At one point, there was
After you
17
post
Bontabox
on
across
Instagram,
the
like,
entire
delete some
world.
out of your phone.
They were all together, and
I'm
a
not
farmer
posting right
that
now.
lived nearby
No, but I'm
noticed
saying
the
out of your
population of the
phone.
Bontabox
So this way you have more
really,
space.
and he knew he had to help them somehow. So he herded them all together and put a fence around them to keep them safe from their predators. And then he contacted reserves around the world who then came in to be in these Bontabox.
Why do I feel like
And
we're
so
at
far
Jurassic
they've
Park?
been able to increase the population from 17 to almost 3,000, which is really incredible knowing that the Bontabox almost went extinct, but now they're doing so much better, all because one person found them and decided to do something about it. So it just goes to show that really anyone can help these animals. It just takes one person to make such a huge change. I mean, their population went from 17 to almost 3,000. That's so incredible. So I do love sharing this story. Just goes to show that conservation is super important. Sometimes the animals just need a little bit of support. And now these gates that we are heading
Can't be
through
talking.
here
There's gotta be
mark the end
recording.
of our adventures with our Alberta Wildlife Reserve.
Oh, I
Many
put
of
it
the
in
incredible
the
animals that we did get to see today, they are unfortunately endangered and their habitats are being destroyed. A lot of it being done by humans, but as humans there's so many ways we can help them as well. One of the easiest things we can do is to just recycle any bottles, cans, plastic glass, paper. Your card maps are recyclable if you don't need them anymore. Your cell phones are also recyclable. They're made of a material called coltan, which is mined from the homes of a lot of these animals. So if we keep that coltan in circulation, it gives miners also a reason to go out and destroy these animals.
Oh, we're going in the water. Ooh, in the water.
For boreal animals, you can check out Gorilla Falls. It's a walking trail just past our really drop you guys off. They have some really cool animals. Equivalents, of course, monkeys, meerkats, naked rat, hippos. So a lot of really cool animals over there. It's just up the hill and to the right where I'm going to drop you guys.